tool. Where's the tool? Gotta have that shit out here. Oh, man. Oh, whoops. Sorry, y'all. Alien cult? Oh, shit, dude. Oh, shit. Don't drop that on me, dude. Dude, is Marshall Manson in here? Paging Dr. Manson. Paging Dr. Marshall Manson. Drove 10 hours today from San Diego to Red Bluff. That's a long drive, my friend. That's a long drive. I feel spoiled today. Teaged a Patreon stream and now you're on. Groovy, man. Yeah, it is pretty groovy. Like a drive-in movie. Probably hasn't got his notification yet. YouTube's being slow again. True. Either that or he's busy. I tried to hit him up on Twitter too. Beauregard won't leave me alone. Made something new. Wants Marshall to hear it, so he keeps hitting me up. I'm like the middleman. It's like, come on, Beauregard. That whack rapper, yeah. Whack ass Beauregard, dude. What's up, Paul? I haven't caught a stream in ages. Oh, got it. Morning, Paul. Don't morning me, dude. It ain't morning. There you go. So just so you don't throw up from the tobacco. Do you watch Strongman? No, I don't. Don't ask me what I watch again. Do you do these when you wake up and when you sleep? Sometimes. $7:30 a.m. UK here, and you're already stoned. I mean, is that supposed to be like a badge of honor or something? I mean, dude, you're gonna have to pick a new fucking like person to be. I've banned pepita chips so many fucking times and unbanned now. You're just gonna have to pick a new fucking name, dude. You can't be pepita chips anymore. I've decided. I strip you of your name. What did they do? They were too stupid to talk. I'm just cleaning up the chat here. You changed your name recently? Oh, cool. You pissed me off earlier, so I told myself if I saw you again, I was gonna ban you, so now he's gone. It's fine, dude. I'll just clean it out. Sometimes you gotta do these types of streams where it's all just about cleaning it out. Yeah, dude, already. How's the evening? So far, so good. Just had like I don't know, a busy day. Like pretty much nonstop busy from start to now. But I don't know, I feel good. Mangoes are amazing. Oh boy, here we go. All right. Order 66 on all nonsense in the chat tonight. So any specters that may be listening, full-blown order 66 on anything that isn't fucking coherent in the chat tonight. And it extends throughout tonight. And as people trickle in and as new specters come in, spread the word about Order 66. I just am not in the mood, dude. I'm too chill. I'm just not in the mood. So just pass out the fucking bans. If it's nonsense, if it's stupid questions, just dunk it. Thank you, Vincent Gomez, for the 99 cents. I appreciate it. Otello in the chat, dude. Dude, you guys picked a night where Otello is here to do this. It's just stupid. If anybody wants to know what Order 66 is, just let him know. Yeah, Otello's happy to answer. If only there was an Order 66 filter, I know. It would be nice. Well, there is. It's called having specters on deck to help me police the chat. When it gets out of fucking control, people get dunked on. Grand Moff Paul, indeed, dude. No nonsense in the chat, exactly. Rolling deep on these fools. You have to. You can't let them, you know, you can't just let them be. They're too dumb to live. Oh, and Paul's dad, I hate to tell you this, but earlier on, Lord of Duck declared a jihad against all Paul accounts. So you're probably not long for this world, my friend. I'm just letting you know. I'm not going to do it myself, but I think it's soon. Well, there, never mind. He's gone. Are these all permabans? Yes. Otello follows the Ducks rules. Hey. Timeouts do not exist during Order 66. Yeah, there's no timeout. It's straight bans, straight permas, until stupid people are quiet. Good evening. You work at Cane's now, and that means free chicken for me? Well, not really, because I don't really live anywhere where I think there's a Cane's nearby anymore. Only true gentlemen survive 66. It's true. It doesn't take much, just coherent sentences. Funny you guys talking about Star Wars. I just paused Clone Wars and came to the stream. Oh, yeah. Order 66. Remove me now. It's an order. Just imagine me throwing my shoes at Paul like he was Bush. Imagine me dodging like I'm Bush. 2 dodges. Yeah, dude. It's time for the cleansing. The great cleansing is at hand. And lo, they were cast into the fire. Paul, what's the meaning of life to you? Well, the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. I don't think Biden would have dodged the shoe. No, I think he would have caught that fucking. I think he would have caught that shoe right in the face. Grand Wizard Paul. Don't call me Grand Wizard, dude. That's like a. That's a KKK thing, isn't it? Don't be doing that shit. Was Austin Powers out by that time? An opportunity for a Bush reference? If so, I don't think it was, no. Man, abysmal. Holy fuck, bro. I got so lucky so many days in a row. And then like the last like 10 of these that not the last 10, but the last like 2 of these I've done have been just fucking abysmal, bro. This chat is fucking abysmal. Literally abysmal, bro. Like, if you guys are this fucking bored, why would you come here? You still open up to people? Why? I don't know. Because it's worth it. The Cosmos told you to show up. Well, the Cosmos was fucking wrong. Oh my god, dude. Whew. This chat is... I'm starting to get the fear. Let's put it that way. I'm starting to feel the fear. Yeah, the fear, man. The fear can't be explained. You either felt the fear or you haven't. It's not something that can be fucking told to a person. You've either felt it or you haven't felt it. I wish it was as cute as a cheesy 60s horror. Last time I felt the fear, the stream ran red with blood. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it's not a good portent. It almost feels like we're building up to a Flushing, to a great Flushing, which... I mean, it's no fun for any of us. The great Flushing. Don't ask me if I've seen shit, dude. Just stop. Just stop with it. Stop trying to evangelize shows and shit to me, dude. Don't do it. 100% of this chat is the bottom 50%. Yeah, that's true. YouTube doesn't tell you when you're banned. I wonder how many people type into the voids in these. I don't know, man. Probably a lot. Probably a sad amount. What do I want to talk about? I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. I feel restless, you know? I don't know if that's a topic of conversation, but I just feel really restless. I feel like there's something I should be doing. That's why I'm doing this. I feel restless. And that makes me feel anxious, and feeling anxious makes me feel like banning people. My stupidity tolerance goes very low. It goes very, very low. Paul, will you guys ever revisit the history of going insane mental health episode? You had medical problem during? I think it was an interesting topic and episode. Probably not. Like, I think I've said all I need to say on the subject. Those types of episodes, to be quite honest with you, and, you know, I'll just be honest. The episodes that get real heavy into, like, human degradation and human suffering and shit, they tend to be really tough on me. That episode was not the only triggering factor, but one contributing factor. The other factors being a very recent breakup, not a lot of sleep, not eating very well at the time, not taking care of myself. So those are the other factors. But, you know, the topic, the subject matter of that show was a contributing factor to the medical problem that I experienced, the syncope that I experienced during that show. It was a very dangerous bout of syncope. I went from being fully on my feet to crumpled on the floor and hit something on the way down. And I'm a 6'1" guy that at the time weighed well over 300 pounds. So it was not a good fall, and it was not a good look. And I was lucky to have only chipped a tooth. But, you know, when we've covered other various, like, heavy subject matters like that, I don't know what it is, bro. I just get this empathy shit going, and it's liable to trigger a panic attack in me. And I've just got to be aware of that shit, you know? I fell face first into a door. Did anyone call kayfabe? No, nobody did. I think everybody saw how scared fucking TJ was and shit, or heard it. That's the sad thing about those episodes, is like the people around you are always way more fucking impacted than you are. Like, I was sore for a couple of days, but TJ will probably never forget that shit. The poor dude was scared fucking shitless. Hey, man, that's all good. Have a good one, Lord of Doug. You ever get worried your doomer talk puts you at risk? At risk of what? Like some government agency coming after me or some shit? Like, whatever. I think they got bigger problems on their plate. I don't know. Well, good eventide there, Jason. I'm feeling rather sleepy. Well, not sleepy, but mellow. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, whatever. They'd be wasting their time, but if they're welcome to, I guess, if they want. If they want to park their cars down the street or whatever and listen to me do what I fucking do, that's fine. You're doomed, cynic. Been doomed since day one, just like the rest of us. We are all of us doomed. How so? Well, you're a sack of human insecurity existing in a dying world under the umbrella of a dying culture with a death urge. You're doomed. Do you ever say anything positive? Sure. What do you want to hear about? What do you want to hear? Like puppies are cute. Birdies are cute. The grass smells nice right after you mow it. I don't know, man. The sun on your face feels kind of good in the morning time. What do you want me to say, bro? Do you support death penalties for war criminal dictators like Hitler? No. I don't. I don't support the death penalty for anybody. I don't think that capital punishment should exist. I don't care how heinous the crime. Two wrongs don't make a right is pretty fucking simple. Remove them from society and study them if they've done something completely out of the ordinary. Like, we would have been better off having Hitler captured and interviewed and studied than we, ended up with Hitler with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. If we could have picked off Hitler and kept him. The death penalty is bullshit, dude. I'm so sick of making the argument with people. Because it's the same cyclical shit. They'll tell you, well, I'm for it just to save money. I just think it's better. I'd rather kill these sons of bitches that did all this horrible stuff than pay to feed them for the rest of their lives. I'm like, you realize it's more expensive to kill them. Well, how's that even possible? Redundant appeals. Like, you are due a number of redundant appeals in a death penalty case. And so, oftentimes, death penalty cases are tied up in court for years at an expense far in excess to the taxpayer of what it would cost to house and feed that inmate. Well, but then I should take away the appeals. Yeah, just drag them out in the fucking front of the court and shoot them, right? I bet you'd want an appeal. These dumb motherfuckers. It's just such a dumb fucking argument. I get sick of arguing with dumb motherfuckers that can't, like, think logically through a fucking argument. And I'm telling you, like, pro-death penalty people are those people. My vibe is off. I don't know, dude. I'm a little feeling a little negative, dude. I don't know what to tell you. It's having a tax-paid method of killing people make us any better than the murderers and criminals we deem as evil. Not if you believe that fucking innocent people are put to death for crimes they didn't commit, which is absolutely 100% guaranteed to have happened at least 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 times in our fucking history. So, yeah, no, it's immoral. It's immoral on the face of it. It's immoral, it's unethical, and it's ineffectual on top of it. It's not even like, well, maybe it's a little bit immoral, but it's really effective at keeping people from doing crimes. And it's like, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. Says who? According to whom? Have you considered getting some of the relatively affordable portable solar panel all-in-one kits to help you do less harm to the planet? Your new place probably gets adequate sunlight. Yeah. The problem is that I'm only going to be renting this place for probably like a year, and then I'm going to move again. So me buying a bunch of fucking solar panels and hooking them up at this place, like, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But sure, when I settle in a place, if it's a place that gets adequate sunlight, like, I'm fine with it. The death penalty is reserved for those who were too crazy at the time of committing the crime to care about it. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily true, but I don't think it's a defensive. I don't know, dude. I don't want to talk the fucking death penalty all goddamn night. Am I gonna settle back in Phoenix? That'd be kind of dope. It's not off my list, I'll tell you that much. I enjoyed Phoenix the last time I was there. Which was today. Where's Dinor? Dinor is in Sinor. He's sleepy. Dinor's a sleepy boy. Hey, bro, here's a subject for you, blank. Oh, Jason, dude. You want me to remove that wrench, Jason? Chat seems chill enough at the moment. Gonna go get some food. Thank you, Otello, for your service. In the bunker. You're free to say whatever you'd like. Yeah, you're free to say it. You're not free from the consequences of saying it. But you're free to say it. I've lived in the same flat spot all my life, so the idea of mountains around me, I like. Yeah, I like the mountains. I'm enjoying my time in them. They'd rather see me locked up than me and Lorenzo rolling in a benzo. All right, Lou Willie, thank you for the... Just, oh my God, let me nuke you real quick. Just so you're gone, just throwing in stupid fucking lyrics and shit. Not really enjoying Cyberpunk. It keeps crashing. They're gonna have to fix it. They're gonna have to release a patch or some shit. Isn't the guy Jason the guy Scotty almost punched on Highdeology way back when? Yep, that would be Jason. I live next to the mountains and miles of flat land bothers me. Yeah, I'd have trouble like living in Ohio and shit. I need to be near some mountains too. What would you do if you were president? Hammer the button with my forehead. Like 4 times to make sure that it got all the way through. I would literally face roll the button. And the red phone would ring and they'd be like, sir, can you give me the launch codes? And I'd be like, Z, 24, Niner, Charlie, Foxtrot, Delta, Yankee, Hotel, Delta, Foxtrot, 23, Niner, 7, Frankie, 27, Niner, Delta, Foxtrot. Launch codes confirmed. Target everything. Sir? Target everything. Every country on the planet, including us. I want some to shoot straight up in the air and fall straight down. Sir, yes, sir. Launching now. He brung on the nukes. Yep. How did you know? I was waiting for that nuke blast jump scare. No, you just vaporize. There's no jump scare. You just vaporize into pure nothingness. And everything you once were, everything you thought, everything you intended, all your beliefs, all of your closely held ethics, all of the love and anger that you brought into this world, poof. There's got to be a better way. Unfortunately, life is not a fucking Ron Popeil infomercial. There is not. What's your favorite Arnold film? Probably, I don't know, man. That's kind of tough. Terminator 2, maybe. Total Recall. Hercules in New York. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one, buddy. You got it. You nailed it. Junior. Oh, yeah, Junior. Is our society's hopeful wish of a space future basically an atheist religion? Basically, the belief that we will become God someday? I mean, maybe. I don't know that it runs that deep, and I don't know that it's exclusive to atheists. I think there's plenty of religious folks that believe that. That it may very well be our destiny to spread their religion beyond this planet, out into the heathen galaxy. Maybe a godlike alien will turn us into the star child that will enlighten us. Probably not, though. Dude, I wouldn't hold my breath for that one. Andrew Yang had that idea about the less dangerous radioactive material being used for more widespread nuclear energy to help wean us off fossil fuels. Maybe a quicker, easier transition off of oil. Yeah, unfortunately, like radioactive elements are also finite on the planet and finite within our reach. I mean, uranium is already a highly prized thing that we geopolitically position ourselves in order to be able to exploit. There's no strategy based on the infinite exploitation of a finite resource. Sorry. Unless you're thinking about making the sun our one and only power source sometime in the next 20 to 40 years minimum, then I don't even want to hear about it. And I don't think anybody, anywhere with any kind of clout and any kind of backing to them is making that kind of claim right now. That in 40 years, we're all going to be able to effectively harness the sun's energy enough to where we don't need fossil fuels anymore. And even at that point, you're looking at a finite resource, but at the very least, you're not able to hyper exploit it. Uranium is pretty common now. How realistic is it that we can mine asteroids? Unrealistic as fuck. We talked about this the other night. The amount of fuel that it takes just to get a rocket off the planet. When you look at like one of these space shuttles taking off, or one of the space vehicles that's taking a trip up to Mir or whatever the fuck, 90% of that is fuel. So just the fuel to get you to the asteroid would probably cost more than what you would get from the asteroid, let alone the fuel it would require for you to tow it back into the atmosphere or to mine it out there and fly it back piecemeal. It's absurd. Paul, do you ever have problems talking to people who are constantly on their phone? No, I don't really surround myself with people who are constantly on their phones. The sun is preferable. Every roof and spare place covered in solar panels would take care of our energy needs. I assume materials for the panels are finite too, though. Right, they are. And I don't think that every building covered in solar panels is enough to handle our energy needs. What about the trucks? What about the trains? I mean, you need a lot of fucking solar panels to run 4 giant diesel electric engines like pass by here fucking 10 times a day. Pulling probably fucking conservatively 6,000 tons worth of fucking shit. Yeah, you need a lot of solar panels for that, bro. Giant ships that ship containers all over the world, yeah. No, dude, this whole like fucking like solar isn't gonna save us. There's no green energy. It's all a joke. It's all masturbatory at this point. Slapping a fucking solar panel on your house, yeah, you know, it brings you closer to fucking carbon neutral than your neighbor. But your fucking neighbor and your other 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 neighbor, oh, and your other neighbor, and then you go a street over and all your other neighbors don't have fucking solar. So what the fuck have you done but dribble a drop of piss in the ocean and say that you've cured fucking cancer? Use gas, yeah, another finite resource. Good fucking heads up, bro. Set an example, yeah. Because when I drive through neighborhoods and I see one dude with solar panels, I'm pretty sure if I drove through that neighborhood in fucking a year, there's gonna be 10 with solar panels. People don't, it doesn't work that way, bro. People look at people that get solar panels all over their houses and they go, what fucking dupes? I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that people that get solar panels are dupes, but you wanna know the truth of what people fucking think about it. Just not how it spreads. People can't be trusted to voluntarily transfer to a sustainable way of living. This culture just doesn't allow for it. This culture itself will never, ever allow for a transfer to a sustainable way of living. That's it. So you can fucking put your solar panels up if you want, pat yourself on the back and be perfect little fucking bright green guy, grow your little fucking victory garden or whatever, and there's still fucking, what is it now, fucking 8 billion people pretty much not doing that. Better be good weed I'm growing. Forgot my phone on top of the flood table. I feel naked without a phone. They make them unserviceable but not watertight. Why? Greed. Of course. That's called planned obsolescence. That means you can't really make a product great because people only have to buy it once. You want people to buy 10 or 20 or 50 of your products. Cell phones give me anxiety. Okay. The truth of the matter is, guys, we're all lucky. And I'm going to be straight up and honest with you guys right now. This is going to sound selfish, but I'm going to give you some fucking truth right now that may not be hard, may not be easy to swallow for some of you. We're all lucky because we live at a time where beauty is still experienceable. And when I say beauty, I mean natural beauty. You can still go stand in a forest and be pretty much utterly alone and hear that place speak to you and feel that cold on your skin and get the goosebumps and know that you truly are away from people and in a wild place that grows free and mostly untouched by the intervention of mankind. You can still do that, man. You can still look up at the sky at night and see the stars. You can still go and one day be in the desert and see the beautiful of the blooming desert, and then see the beautiful of the top of the mountain, and see the beautiful of the jungle within just days apart. You live at a time where if you orient yourself towards that, you can experience those things. You can see those things with your eyes, and you can take those things into yourself. You are lucky, profoundly lucky. There's so many species that exist now that won't exist in 20 years that you can see, you can experience those animals, both in their wild habitat and in zoos and in, rescue organizations. You're lucky. We're all lucky. Because there's fast coming a fucking generation of people that won't have that ability. I am a digital-minded guy. See, there's this idea that I have to be sold on one thing or the other. I love the idea of a governing AI. I love the idea of a benevolent dictator AI that solves our problems, that steps in to mediate between people, that takes over our flawed judicial system, that writes our laws and enforces our laws in a humane way, meant to foster the growth intellectually, artistically, and yes, spiritually of the human race, and to foster that growth, to enforce the rules that we need enforced so that we live together in something like harmony, not only with ourselves and each other, but with the world that we live on, to force our sustainability, and to protect us from ourselves and our own impulses to hyper-exploit both resources and one another. I love that idea, but I think it's science fiction. I think it's science fiction. Ultimately, I think we don't have the time that we need to develop such an AI. The AIs if a true AI is born, it'll be more than likely geared towards advertising. It'll be geared towards understanding people better so that it can better direct target ads to people. And we might get that far before shit starts to hit the fan and burn out. We're never going to get to the point where we give birth not only to a benevolent AI, But the idea that we should turn over the keys to our custodial existence to that AI, it's a pipe dream. You know what isn't a pipe dream? The coming collapse. And the idea that the people, if there are any, that survive said collapse might know why the collapse happened. And might write into the codex of their fucking new society rules against mass monoculture farming, rules against the mass spread of people and the mass conglomeration of people, and a respect for the fucking land that we live on and the species that live here, and a respect for the planet that gave us life, without which we wouldn't fucking exist. We are not apart from this place. We are part and parcel of this place. We are the dirt. And we're shitting it up. If the human species is a mass organism, this earth is our bones, and we're chewing away at the marrow of our own bones. Like self-inflicted osteoporosis. We're chewing away at the very structure that holds us up. Not only us, but every other species on this planet besides. And we're doing it because we're telling ourselves a story about infinite growth and infinite consumption, someday being made ethical. And right now, well, what else can you do? But someday, the machine, I don't know, man. It's sick and it's twisted. And I feel lost. I really do, guys. It gets me down, and I feel lost in it. Because I just know it to be true. I just see the writing on the wall. I know how to listen to the climate scientists. I know now in my 40 years enough about human nature to know that there's no voluntary change coming. I know that if I live another 20 years that I'll watch another 10,000 species disappear. I know that I'll watch another biome disappear or two. I'll watch another ecosystem or 10 or 20 collapse. And I know that when I fucking lay down on my deathbed that I'm just handing that to the next generation. At least I didn't produce an offspring. At least I don't have the weight of that on my shoulders, but Native Americans and other cultures understood those structures. Yes, they did. It's like people get so fucking block-minded when you talk to them about a way of living that isn't based on the exploitation of every resource that you can get your hands on, isn't based on exploitation of human labor or one another. When you tell them that that sort of thing is possible, they either go, okay, whatever, hippie, or they tell you like, oh yeah, return to monkey. And they just shut their brain off, because the alternative is, like, the alternative to listening to that and maybe being convinced by that is to admit that the lie that you've been telling yourself all this time is indeed a lie. I quote Derek Jensen all the time. One of my favorite quotes of his is, it's not important that we tell lies to one another to justify the damage that we do to the ecosystem. It's only important that those lies be erected as barriers to truth. We all kind of know we're fucking the planet, but we tell each other the lie that we're all gonna fix it someday. Oh, solar panels, yeah. Oh, wind energy, yeah. Oh, nuclear energy. Yeah, it's all going to be fixed one day. One day we're going to voluntarily transition to a carbon neutral fucking way of living. And the Earth is going to be just a beautiful, blooming garden planet where you can't tell the difference between a giant redwood tree and an arcology building. It's going to be beautiful. And those people they're fantasists. They know it's bullshit. They know 100% that it's bullshit. And yet, they will wag their finger in scorn at anybody that brings up the unsustainability of our way of life and assault those people with, you criticize civilization and yet you live in it level arguments. I guess in a hope to burn those people out so they'll shut up and allow everybody else to just keep living the dream. And people like me really don't shut up unless we're shut up, you know? So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to not shut up about what I see as the truth. The way we are living is unsustainable, and we must immediately rethink not just our way of living, but our way of existing. And if we don't, we're fucked. And even if we do, we're probably fucked to a certain extent. But if we don't, we are certainly fucked. And that's the message. What can actually help? A collapse. And then the remaining few people. Derek Jensen says something that fills me with a lot of hope. And I don't even think it's a quote from him. I think he took the quote from one of his other Ann Prim friends, whose name I don't remember. But he says, the only thing that the people that come after the collapse will judge our society on is the health of the land base. None of the other shit that we've done, the things that we've written, the machines that we made, the buildings that we built, the statues that we erected, the systems that we integrated, the technology that we integrated, none of that will matter. What will matter is what is left for them to live on. And the answer will be not much. And so, in the mind of Derek Jensen, and maybe partially in my mind, I don't know if I fully buy this premise, those people can't help but know what it was that fucked the planet. And if they go forward, and if that is true, that they judge our society not by the wonders that we created, but by the shit that we left behind on the land base, the radioactive wastelands, the once verdant valleys that are now dust bowls for centuries, the melted ice caps, the inundated cities, the detritus of our fucking disgusting, garbage spewing, ocean destroying fucking civilization is going to be writ large on every biome on this planet. And if there are human beings left, they can't help but know that it was this culture that did it, and pass that to their children. And hopefully they pass a new way of life to their children too. That's my hope for the human species. Not that we visit the stars. I mean, how beautiful would that be, guys? But honestly, let's set that aside right now. My hope for the human species is that after all of this falls apart, that people come to the realization that we are not apart from the things that are here. We are not some special thing with some special destiny, any more special than that tree I'm looking at across the way. We are animals on a planet, and we have an immense power over that planet. And if we don't use it wisely, we're just fucking ourselves. And that's my hope for humanity, that we find a way to not exploit one another, to not hurt one another, to not kill one another, and to live in relative harmony with the place that we fucking call home. In small enough numbers for things to be sustainable, for us to give back what we take, like every other animal. I don't think our current level of technology can be possible in a sustainable world. No, condo meal. I don't think that. Guys, I ain't no fucking genius. I really am not. I'm not all that smart of a person. There are a lot of people that are way, way, way more intelligent than me, but I gotta tell you guys something. I don't see a way around this shit. I wanna be hopeful. I wanna believe in the big green machine. I wanna believe in the squad. I want to believe that Joe Biden can be pushed left and that we can get a Bernie Sanders-like guy and start moving towards a social democracy. And that that'll be the tide that turns the climate battle and that the earth will start healing itself as a result. And that reason and rationality and compassion above all will begin to rule not only here in the United States, but spread like a big old fucking Care Bear stare to every other fucking country that needs it. The beauty of human liberation from the yoke of capitalistic slavery and the creative explosion that'll come from that. Man, I fucking love thinking about that, but guys, it's not happening. What is happening is that as we're talking right now, another species is being deforested from its only habitat. Another 10,000 acres of rainforest that will never be replaced in anybody's lifetime being leveled. Another 10,000 acres of forest will burn. Another whole verdant biome will desertify and continue that process. The coastal areas upon which we rely so much for our trade will be inundated. Guys, this is not a fucking joke. Humanity is on the cusp of some fucked up shit. The resource wars are not going to be pretty. And we are not transferring away from non-renewable energies in any meaningful way, which means that those resource wars are inevitable. We're talking about hot wars between major superpowers over areas of the world that are still rich in petroleum or silver or bauxite or gold or coltan. Guys, how are we supposed to save the world if we can't even save ourselves? Good point. Anarchism is the answer, friend. A socialist system won't save us either, since it would be just as authoritarian. Well, whatever. I'm telling you, man, all this fucking jerking off about anarchism and socialism and communism is all gonna mean nothing in the end. Nothing. Like I said, the only thing by which our culture will be judged by the people that follow it after the coming collapse will be the health of the land base. I believe that. It's weird how disconnected we are from the real world. Man, comment of the night. I'm not gonna wrench you because I don't want to put that yoke around your neck, but let me just tell you, comment of the night. It may seem trite, but it's so fucking true. We are so utterly disconnected from the real world. We think we're already in space. It's like our movies and our cultural fucking narrative about our expansion eventually into space has convinced us somehow subconsciously we're already there. That it's our birthright, it's our manifest destiny to spread off this planet, even as we're turning it into a fucking uninhabitable, desertified oil slick. But you know what, guys? Like I said, we're all very lucky. Despite all the doom, despite all the gloom, here's the silver lining if one exists, okay? We exist at a time where if we make it a priority in our lives, we can still see some of this stuff. We may not be able to save it, but we can still see it, and that makes us lucky because there's so much fucking amazing, gorgeous, beautiful nature out there for you to take in if you go and look for it. It can be found in every state in the United States and every country that I know of. I don't know of a place that has no natural beauty. And that makes us lucky. The Appalachians are beautiful. I got to stay in West Virginia. I was in Morgantown for almost a month when I was a kid. I'll never forget it, man. It was beautiful. The density of the trees there, the verdancy of those forests, how just the smell of it, man. It's so different than West Coast forests. Deserts are some of the most beautiful places in the world. The high desert here in all the numerous high deserts here on the western area seaboard of the United States. Let's put it that way. Some of the most beautiful fucking places you'll ever see. Are you still an atheist? I was for a long time. Started listening to Ram Dass and Alan Watts about the nature of things, and it helped me a lot. I mean, yeah, I'm still an atheist. I don't believe that there's some kind of fucking blind watchmaker out there overseeing all the nonsense going on down here. To believe that would be absurd. Am I an atheist in terms of ruling out some overarching life force that we don't understand, or some overarching energy that drives all of this, or some overarching interplay between time, space, and matter that we don't yet fully understand? No, I'm not closed off to those metaphysical kind of ideas or those pseudo-spiritual, scientific, sci-fi kind of ideas. But, I believe what I can be shown. I still have the same standard of evidence that I've always had. I'm a completely not a completely impartial agnostic. I'm an agnostic. Whoa. What happened? Weren't there like hundreds of people in here? There was like 180 people in here. Another 64? What happened? Oh, no. It lagged? Oh. Got it. No, dude, it was weird. I usually don't even look at that number, but I looked up there real quick and I was like, what the fuck? There's like 60 people? Did Order 66 ban that many people? No, we're good. It lagged for a minute. That sucks. I don't know what you guys missed, but look, we can move on to a different subject if you guys want. I know this has been a hot and heavy one, especially at night out here. It becomes it's really forward in my mind at night. Only 21 hours to go. Yeah. Paul, could you please do another ego answers video because they're still my favorite? I mean, I could do one, sure. I'll put up a Paul's ego video or something real quick saying, hey, you know, like I used to, because I used to do a video where it's like, hey, comment in the comment section questions that you have for me, and the ones that are good, I'll answer in an ego. I'll do it. Why the fuck not? It's been a long fucking time since I've done a video like that, and I enjoyed doing them back in the day. So why not? I'll put it up tomorrow. It shouldn't take me long. And I'll start taking questions for it down in the comments or whatever, and I'll pick the good ones and I'll answer those. That'll be fun. I'll do it. Last time you did that, you deleted the video and never uploaded the answer. Hey, I got divorced, bro. I'm sorry. I got divorced, okay? Either that or I just got no good questions. I mean, this might come to nothing either. If I only get like 2 good questions or whatever, it'll depend on the participation of people, and that'll depend on people actually seeing the video. So I'll probably have to pimp it for a couple of weeks here on Highdeology and tell people to go look on the channel at the one called "Hey, questions here" or whatever the fuck. And then if I can collect, 10 or 12 or 15 good questions, I'll do a nice long ego answers video for you guys. Bum 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 bum. These hoes, they for everybody. Pass them all around, they at every party. They ain't gonna be loyal, not for anybody. Still, I love these hoes. These hoes, they for everybody. Oh, that was your girl? Oops, I'm sorry. Don't bring her around, there's just too much money. Man, I love these hoes. Check it out. She's a super freak, super freak. Met her in Live last week. She was in there with Meek in the VIP, and then she left with me. Said she fucked with Breezy. Do I want to keep it? Nah, that hoe too sleazy. Now she fucked with Jeezy. Don't believe me? Shit's all over the TV. Now she worked the pole, but you ain't know. That's how she make her dough. Seen her in New York, she was all for. Thought we met before. Said she fucked with Drake. I ain't surprised. All these hoes fucking with Drake. On a less serious note, did you get exactly what you expected from the Disno channel yesterday? Pretty crazy. That is a Juicy J song called These Hoes. I think there's another dude on the track, but it's a Juicy J song. It's dope, dude. These hoes. All the stories you used to tell on your channel, were they built up over your whole life, or did you stop building stories out of your experiences? No, man, I'm always building stories. Do you add a little hot sauce to it? You always got to add a little hot sauce, man. My daddy always said that telling a good story is a tightrope walk. On one side of the tightrope is the dry recitation of fact, and on the other side of the tightrope is complete, unadulterated fantasy. And a good storyteller knows how to walk that tightrope and never fall into one or the other. A bad storyteller will lilt into dry recitation of fact or allow their imagination to go so wild that the story becomes unbelievable. A good storyteller, however, walks that tightrope. My dad, well, yeah, he knew what's what on a lot of things. He didn't know what's what on a lot of things. I mean, he was a wise, well, I say was, he's still alive. He's a wise dude. Ever tried turning your experience with Brett Keane into a single story? There's your answer. Bruh. These dumb motherfuckers just don't get it. Hey, Paul, are you a hat guy or more of a no hat guy? Like, I prefer to be a no hat guy. What would you say is your most unadulterated yet most outlandish story? I mean, honestly, probably the story of my carjacking, which I've told numerous times, and I won't regale you with again tonight. I have to be careful. I got to spread out tellings of that story. It's a story that I tell, and in some ways it's cathartic, and in other ways not so much. But I mean, that story is fucking crazy. You won't meet another person in your fucking life that's been through something like that. Guaranteed. You know what I mean? It's very fucking rare. If you were on Joe Rogan, would you tell it? For sure. If you asked me about it. Yeah, that's a fucking crazy story, bro. 100% true. One of those stories that I do not have to put much hot sauce on at all. The hot sauce that I pour on that story when I tell it in a general setting is usually just to cover long stretches of things that aren't that great to tell in a story, or things that are particularly painful for me. So it's almost like I remove hot sauce from that story, to be quite frank with you. There are some things that those guys did and said to me that I don't usually tell people in the normal telling of that story. I reserve that for like doctors and stuff. I was fucked up. I was fucked with by those guys in a lot of ways. Mentally, physically, it was fucked up. And You know, I try and make it a more lighthearted story. Because that makes it more palatable for people. Because if I were to tell that story exactly as I remember it, it would be an overwhelmingly kind of sad story for some people to hear, and probably a pretty triggering story for a lot of people to hear, people that have been through gun violence and stuff like that. Were they given just sentences? Man, I don't know how to answer that. I was a child when they were put on the fucking stand, dude. I don't know. I hope so. Ugh. Remember that pic of me and my friends playing you on the school library computers, yeah? Paul's ego makes sure these guys stay in jail. I hate Case, bro. Oh, yeah. He's an idiot, dude. Don't tell it to Nancy Grace. She'll try and milk it out. Paul, what's the dumbest trivia fact that you know? I don't know. Bruh, I like the sound of trains while I smoke weed. Bruh, me too. But Sifu, I gotta tell you, you're starting to sound a little nonsensical, and I'm gonna fucking ban you if the next thing I read out of you is nonsense, okay? That is like one of the most common things that people will ask me. It's kind of funny that people will ask you that when you're telling them a story about you being held at gunpoint for over an hour. Were you scared? But it really is like I said, most people don't ever have that happen to them. And so they wonder, you know, I guess. I got a lot of professional help after the incident, and and we'll probably continue to talk to somebody in the near future. Not necessarily just about that incident. If there's a Spectre around, can they just ban Sifu? I think his brain melted, or he's too dumb to type, or whatever. But that's like 3 times where I've wasted my life clock reading something completely nonsensical from him. So if there's a Spectre hanging around, nuke him, please. And if not, then I'll get him the next time he fucking spews his gibberish. All right, you got him. Thank you. Too high for Highdeology, man. Yeah, if you can't handle your shit, then don't come here to talk to me. I'm not here to have like fucking 420 Weedcast level discussions, okay? That ain't my shit. Goliath of Gath. Boyos, lots of dogs around. Yeah, well, there's some coyotes too. So some nights I'll hear the kind of dogs boofing kind of way off in the distance, and some nights I'll hear that yip of the coyotes. Paul, what was the best time you had on DP? Best time? Probably that first DP meetup, man, in LA. I got hired because of that meetup, you know. And yeah, energy at that place was just fucking crazy. And it was my first exposure to that. It was awesome. I regret not coming to the London meetup. Yeah, dude, you probably should have caught that. Shame on you, shame on you. What was it like? I mean, I don't know, dude. It's hard to explain because you guys got to understand. I went from, and I'm not gonna try and overblow it and say DP was some like big massive thing, right? But it was pretty fucking big. And I went from being this dork that worked a really small type job in a small type town, and like all of a sudden I was in this room full of people who all knew me, all knew my name, and all wanted pictures with me, and all wanted to tell me a little piece of their story, and or thank me or give me something they drew for me. And it was all just like love too. It was just love. It was like people were just happy to kind of, and like I was so happy to fucking chill with them. I don't know, man. It's hard to fucking explain that, what that felt like. It was just, I don't know. It was a beautiful moment. Do you feel any less content than you were during your tenure on DP or early DFF? Any less content? I actually feel more content, man. I mean, DFF continues to grow. We're adding employees, which is a good thing at a time like this. And I'm proud to say that the people that we're hiring are people that watch us. They're fans of ours that need work. And so it's like we're putting people to work on a permanent basis for us to help us churn out more content for our growing audience. We're coming up with ways to reach outside of that audience. We're developing a couple of properties that I think are going to be massive for that. Massive. Things are looking up, man. Things look great. I feel great. I feel engaged. But I got to tell you, I don't think I'll ever quite feel like I felt on DP. That first 6-8 months that I had on DP was like, I don't know, man. It was just my introduction to that, to a totally different way of making money, to a totally different way of living, to a totally creative avenue that I'd never explored, to being surrounded by people that were really intelligent and really talented all the time. It's like, wow, you know. Dude, I'll do a DP DFF fucking Q&A right now. I mean, you guys seem to be interested in the subject. So you got any burning fucking questions? Now, I'm not gonna reveal personal information. I'm not gonna delve into like private legal matters or private business matters, but you got a fucking burning question about that show, I'm down. Know there are boundaries and whatnot. But, well, I tell you what, hold those questions. Let me go get a Jable because it seems only fair. You guys think up some questions. I'll come back and I'll smoke a J. And if there's no questions, then fuck off. I won't answer anything. So cook them up in your noodle, and we'll get some good questions. do a little stretching there for a second. That feels much better. What guest did you not like on DP? Did I not like? Oh man, I don't really mean to talk shit about her, but there's one that pops right into my head immediately. Sex Masterca, dude. If you didn't watch a lot of DP, you probably don't remember her episode, and I don't blame you. It was like pulling teeth to get Sex Masterca to even like talk about anything. She was just like, she was like an e-thought, you know. I mean, she spoke English, but it was kind of broken. But I think it was more that she just had no fucking clue what was going on. She was so used to just being like, she was foreign, so there was definitely a little bit of a language barrier, but it was just like she had no desire to contribute anything other than her tits. If DP had stayed together, do you think Ryby would eventually have rode the Sibian? Probably not. Paul asked TJ about the Sargon episode, and he said he didn't know what the deal was either, so I was wondering if you got any new info. No, dude, I don't. I don't. You thought the worst guess was Andy Worski? He really wasn't. Andy, the thing about Andy Worski was, and this is the dead ass truth about his appearance on DP. And by the way, feel free to re-ask questions. You know what I mean? Don't be banning people for re-asking questions. It's okay. Like when I'm looking away or answering a question. But anyway, like Andy Worski was a middle of the road guest on DP. He wasn't like, he didn't blow doors on his appearance, but he wasn't like unmemorable. He was okay. Like we talked about having him back. I shit you not, dude. The night that we had him on, he got off the Skype call or whatever we were using at that time. I think it was Skype or Discord. And we used to have a little post-show meeting. And I remember all of us being like, you know, that Andy guy, we could have him back. He was all right. But then the next thing we knew, like the next day, he was shit-talking us. Oh, they had me on there, but all they talked about was Brett the King and the blah, 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 blah. So, whatever. Anyway, go ahead. Did Ben's schoolyard insults and teasing really get under your skin, or was that kayfabe? Some of it was kayfabe, and some of it really got under my skin. It's hard to tell you which incidents are which. But we definitely played it up as like a duo. Like we understood our dynamic was antagonistic, and so there were days where we really played it up. We really played up the negativity. Did I tap beyond fear? No, I didn't. And like if I did, I really probably wouldn't tell you guys about it, but no, I did not. Paul, was your hate for Jim Ass genuine or kayfabe? Kayfabe. Jim Ass was a really funny guy. Is a really funny guy. Was the move to Louisiana necessary in hindsight? Would you have preferred to have stayed in Washington? Yes. I would have preferred to have stayed in Washington had that been possible. It just wasn't. Who was Jim Ass and how did he have such access to you guys? He was a rich fuck that gave the show a bunch of money. It was like a producer role. And he came and went as he pleased, man. You know this. You thought that was kayfabe? You're ridiculous, dude. It just goes to show you. You don't know kayfabe from the truth. If you could just erase one episode from history, which would it be? I wouldn't erase any of them. Dude, I'd leave DP up in all its beautiful, broken, fucked up glory, dude. Because even the bad episodes had some funny fucking shit in them. I'm sorry, dude. You know, I don't really have one. I'd erase from history. Like, fuck that shit. Leave them up. In fact, like, having one erased from history contributed, I think, pretty sharply to the decline of the show. But we won't go into that. What's wrong with DP today? I don't think anything's wrong with it. I don't watch DP today, not out of any spite for the boys. It just feels weird. But the fact that they're still doing the show means they're still making money, which to me means they're doing okay. Do you think Billy would have worked as a DFF host? I'm sure. I don't see why not. Billy's a talented dude. What was your favorite segments doing DP? I liked Crazy People a lot. It was also probably my most hated segment, to be honest with you. Like, I think that a lot of the gold of the show happened in that segment. I also really liked the individual Brett Keane segment situation when it was really good. It was really good. You know what I mean? Like, what was your least favorite segment? Probably the DP Action News shit. I've always been, I don't know. News commentary is always just kind of blah. How much did Brett add to the show? I mean, I don't think Brett added anything to the show. I think our ability to continuously spin his nothing into gold made a lot for the show. I get the feeling that after so many years, TJ started to feel bad about picking on socially awkward and handicapped kids. Was there any truth to that? I mean, I think it's overblown when you say how much we picked on socially awkward and handicapped kids. And in fact, a lot of times, I mean, we talked to Gail Cord-Schuler, who is mentally handicapped, or not handicapped, I guess is not the word we would use anymore. She's neuroatypical, let's put it that way. And we were very nice to her and had a very pleasant interaction with her. And as far as I understand, I think they still do on DP. They still talk to Gail and they're still very cool with her. So I think this idea that we just like mercilessly bullied retarded kids all day is a fucking bum rap. G-Time, same thing. Paul, do you remember when the YB and Atheist guy made a fan book about Anita Sarkeesian? Yes, I do. Favorite story time with Paul? I don't know that I personally have a favorite. I leave that kind of up to you guys to pick. I like telling stories, so, you know, I don't really have a personal favorite. Which minor antagonist was the most annoying? Probably, like, for me, true empiricism. That's a deep minor antagonist, but pretty annoying one. Also, who was that dork? I don't remember what his name was. Who was that dork that came on and said, May May? Remember, he had beef with like Atheist Rue. There was like a brief time where Atheist Rue, I don't remember what the dork's name was. No, it wasn't Corpse Midget, dude. Yeah, he was a Canadian guy, some Canadian fuck, but I can't remember what his name was. And he had beef with the Atheist Rue, and me and TJ had taken some position that was like backing up the Atheist Rue, you know? Like at least on one part of his position. And this dude showed up, and he was like, yeah, dude, I know he was just fucking just like stuck his foot in his mouth and imploded and basically disappeared from the internet. No, that was not Joseph Martelli. Mem, that's what it was. It wasn't May May, it was Mem. The guy that said Mem, yeah. I can't remember, but that was pretty funny though, to be honest with you. That shit was pretty funny. Paulie Morris, dude, yeah. Paulie Morris was in here the other day. He was a troll. Or not like a troll, but like a deep cover kayfabe agent. Dude, Paulie Morris. He was in here the other night, dude. The real Paulie Morris. He revealed himself finally after all these years. Did you leave DP for more personal or business reasons? Though I know those intertwine in content creation with others. I mean, that's the answer to your question right there, dude. The best answer that I can give you without going into tons of details that really aren't mine to tell is both. There were personal aspects to my decision to leave the show, and there were business aspects to my decision to leave the show. Favorite DFF episode? The one that always comes to my mind is the Jeffrey Dahmer episode. I'm assuming you're asking like my favorite one that I've done. Favorite overall? I'm not sure, dude. You know, we recently passed 300 fucking episodes. But when it comes to ones that I've done the research on, the Dahmer episode always comes to mind. Did you enjoy Mundane Matt as a guest on DP? I don't even really remember him being on, so I guess the answer is no. No disrespect to Matt, but I don't remember him really being on the show, so not a memorable appearance. So I'm gonna guess I didn't really enjoy him all that much. What was the studio vibe like at the Tinderbox? Edgy. Not edgy in like the TJ way, but just like edgy in the like, there was a lot of tension in the house at that time. Not like between us as performers or the guys, but between the ladies that were living with us. It was like the three of us were getting along just fine, but all three of us had ladies at the time. I had Ashley, and then of course TJ, Chelsea, and Scotty Taylor. And the three of those ladies just didn't, they could not, there was a very heavy vibe and a very heavy atmosphere of like tension, but it really drove a lot of creativity in that year that we lived in the Tinderbox. So the show was born with that anxiety as part of it, and it really what? Dude, act like I'm not fucking lying, dude. Act like that house was not like a constant battle. It was a battleground. You remember. I know I'm not lying. I mean, it's fitting it nearly burned down, yeah. That's true. I wish it hadn't almost burned us completely, but goddamn, man, that was fucking crazy. But anyway, I still get triggered, dude. The other night, my fucking smoke alarm went off because my wife was in the shower and the steam set off the fucking smoke alarm right outside of the bathroom because it was cold in the house. And it hung there for long enough for the smoke alarm to beep a few times. And I woke up and I was like, it's just like, still got fucking PTSD from that shit. I did that shit and then I was just up. It was like 4 in the morning and I was just up. I was like, welp. What are your thoughts on that guy, Joe? I don't really know Joe all that well, and I didn't interact with him much on the show, so I don't know. You know, you're right. I get major anxiety when I hear those. Forgot that's the cause. That's the fucking cause, bro. But yeah, I mean, you can speak to the kind of general hostility vibes that were kind of floating through that house at the time. And, you know, maybe my perception is off, but I really felt like most of that kind of floated from the girlfriends and wives. And, you know, it was just, you know, too many people in one place, really, is what it boiled down to. I think us guys just wanted, like, we had the business end of things in mind. And I'm not saying that, like, all the ladies didn't. I'm just saying that at times other things took precedence in their mind, like cats and decorations and just stupid shit. And, like, I feel like the three of us were just trying to be single-minded and, like, let's make this show. Let's get this fucking thing done. Let's do this. Blah, 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 blah. Like I said, it really kind of drove the creativity on the show. I mean, yeah, we all had a different idea of how to live. It clashed. Yeah, I mean, you know, whatever. It's to be expected. You can't, dude, sometimes you can't even just live with one person, you know? It's pretty rare to find a person that you can just live with and be copacetic, you know? And you're talking about sandwiching 6 fucking people plus every once in a while kids into the mix. It's like, whoa, what the fuck, bro? That's a lot of place. 6 people, pets. Do you have ducked kids? Scotty has kids with Taylor. They've talked about it, but they don't talk about it, like detail-wise, and so I'll go no further than that. But yeah. What's your favorite Keenism? I don't really have one, bro. Like, I'm not gonna do like a manatee quiz or whatever. You can ask me questions about DP and shit. I'll answer what I can, but I'm not gonna do the manatee quiz, okay? Yeah, I still say Orn. I say what's going on or Camorn Gord all the time. It's just infected me. Working on all cinder blocks, yeah. Was there a time when something you learned from DFF shows and research came up in conversation and you felt learned? Not really. Too much. We smoked too much pot, dude. I didn't really retain much. But that was kind of the point, I think. As well as. Oh, man. Any in-studio guests you didn't vibe with? In-studio guests. I gotta be honest with you. Most of the in-studio guests we had were pretty pleasant folks, like, on the face of it. I don't remember being weirded out or getting bad vibes off of any of the in-studio guests. Now, I might be missing one, but, like, we had Onision on, and he's a pretty weird dude. But, like, honestly, I don't know. Maybe you caught a different vibe off of him, Ashley, or whatever, but, like, as a guest, he was a polite dude. He was pretty funny. He was courteous and receptive to courtesy and all that shit. And he made for a fun show. And so, like, I don't know. So, that's not an endorsement of anything he may have done or not done, but do you get along well with Repsian? Yeah, Repsian and I, we hung out outside the show a couple of times. Not a bunch. It's not like we were besties or anything, but yeah, we got along okay. Didn't that Canadian JF guy seem a tad creepy to you? I mean, yeah, but that was always kind of the point of JF. JF was like this kind of horny Canadian weirdo scientist that would come on the show. It was before he was like a white power guy or whatever, Like back in the early days of his appearances and shit, he was just a lovable, weird, horny Canadian scientist dork that would come on and talk about how he would lick the legs and how he would make a girl feel the best pleasure, how he would lick the legs for hours, and he was pretty funny. Thoughts on vegan gains? I mean, I don't know. I remember having him on the show pretty early on in my DP career. I don't remember much about it. Did you get on with Tim Black? Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, a lot of these people, my only real interactions with them were when they were guests on the show with me, and and so Tim Black and I never developed some like out of the show friendship or anything, but I feel like we got along pretty well personally. Like I didn't feel any angst or animosity there. Did you ever hook up with a fan of the show that didn't turn into a relationship? No. No, I don't really do hookups. Like hookups are not my style. Like I've never done the like fangirl / fanboy roundup at meetups or anything. Any aspirations to get on Joe Rogan? No. I could never listen to JF labor his way through the English. Okay, whatever. Who cares? He spoke perfectly fine English. He was perfectly understandable. Which special episode was your favorite? Special episode. I really liked the 24-hour episode, honestly. That shit was crazy. I think, the only one that made it through the whole fucking thing. I kept the show going for 24 straight hours. Ben was there, I think, the second longest. Billy literally fell asleep on the stream. TJ and Scotty tapped out at about 8 hours, the pair of pussies that they are. But yeah, that 24-hour show was pretty fucking dope. The election episode was fun, sure. I liked the Wheel of Torture, the Wheel of Torment. Scotty skinned Egghead Beta alive. Yeah, he did. He did, dude. He flayed Egghead for the final time. Biggie was murdered by LAPD officer Kevin Gaines. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Thanks. Damn, bro. I'm going down memory lane, RN. Okay. One of my favorite moments was when your voice was so coarse that you sounded exactly like Alex Jones. Oh, yeah, dude, I blew my voice out. Like, I thought that was going to happen last week, honestly. I started to feel it coming on last week again. And I thought it was going to happen, but I was able to salvage it. But yeah, dude, it started to get real raspy again, and I thought, dude, I'm due for a blowout. It's going to happen. I've been talking a lot lately. Sure enough. But it got close, but you would yell so much on that show. Oh my God, dude. I know. I yell more now that I'm in a place where I can, but yeah, I used to yell a lot on that show for sure. I remember an episode where TJ and Scotty had a physical fight at the end. Did that really happen? I don't remember if they actually had a physical fight ever on the show. I have witnessed a physical fight between TJ and Scotty on a couple of occasions. Was you punching Billy kayfabe? Yes. Scotty drop kicking TJ is priceless, dude. I still can't believe I actually seen it. I still can't believe I actually seen it. I shit you not, I can't believe I actually seen it happen. I seen it with my own 2 eyeballs, and so did you. You seen it, and I seen it. We seen it. And we were like, it was like us and their mom that seen it, and them. And that's it, the only people in the world that seen it. He used your colored pencil to try and stab TJ. I know he did, dude. He grabbed a colored pencil of yours off the table and tried to stab TJ. And then TJ didn't react. And then Scotty drop kicked TJ when he was sitting on the couch. You think it was what, green one? I don't know, dude. I can't remember. I can't remember, bro. Oh my God, dude, it was epic. It was crazy. It was like over what, like when we were gonna go to a restaurant or some shit that I didn't even know we were supposed to be going to. It was over a restaurant, dude. Like, TJ wanted to hang out at the fucking place a little longer and smoke, and Scotty and Scotty's mom wanted to leave, and that's what started the argument. And it ended with, like, an attempted colored pencil stabbing and a flying drop kick. Their mom was holding Scotty back, yeah, at one point. And then she finally, like, stepped in and, like, separated them. And then, dude, do you remember when we showed up at the restaurant like an hour later and they were there? And how awkward that shit was? Dude, do you remember that shit? When we went to that fucking restaurant, I shit you not. And like we got sat 2 tables away from Scotty and his mom. And I was like, oh my God, dude, you gotta be fucking joking. We went to the same, in all of New Orleans, we went to the same fucking restaurant, bro. Dude, we were like a table and a half away till we could see each other. Like, I looked right at Scotty a bunch of times, dude. I seen him a bunch of times. Did TJ really think you couldn't break a melon with a small baseball bat because he was ridiculous? That was a ridiculous hill to die on. Well, he died on it. He done died on it. Dude, Ashley, did you see Dinor's little pink vest that I got him? If not, go look at my Twitter. I posted a video of him with his pink vest. We got him a pink LED vest because it gets dark out here and we can't see him when it's really dark. Dude, you gotta go to my Twitter and look at like the video that I posted of him in his pink vest. Dude, it's the dopest thing ever. He's got pink LEDs. He looks like a little pink UFO running around the backyard. Because it was dark out here, but he likes to go sniff around the fence, and we were always afraid, so we kept calling him back. But now I can see him totally. Because now he glows hella pink. You gotta go see it, dude. I thought you would see it, otherwise I would have sent it to you. Yeah. Dude, it's pretty awesome. You think you'll ever live near each other again? Me and the dudes, yeah, maybe. I don't see it as like a total impossibility. I have a feeling that what'll happen is that the guys might move somewhere after a while from Louisiana, and I don't know what timetable they're on. You'll have to go to them. I do know that they both publicly said that they want to pull up stakes and get out of Louisiana. I just did it. Like I got to the point where I just couldn't anymore. So I got out, but it's their intention to go somewhere else. I don't know if they'll end up going to the same place or different places. But ultimately, yeah, after COVID calms down and the world returns to something like normal, if that happens, I could foresee us, if not living right on, like near each other. Like one of the things I've talked to people about is, and I'll talk about it again here because I think it's pertinent to the question. We're a business, right? And so business meetings are totally normal things that businesses do. So we could get together 3 or 4 times a year in a central location where we rent studio space, film a fuck ton of content over those 3 or 4 visits, like do 3 or 4 times a year where it's like 2 weeks or a week and a half where all three of us guys get together with the express intent on filming a bunch of in-person content. We send that off to the editors and then we sprinkle it out over the course of the next 3 months. And then we have another meeting, you know what I mean? So it's like you guys are getting a mix of in-person content and the remote content. So you never really know when we're in the studio together and when we're not. But you'll get a mix and it'll be spread out enough to where, you know what I mean? And I think that'll be way better than not, you know what I mean? I don't know that being in the same fucking studio makes sense in the medium term, but certainly those business meetings do. So. Dude, it's so cold out here. My nose is running. Why did you move from Louisiana? Because it fucking sucked, bro. I don't even want to think about it. Can I just not? I don't want to go through it again. I don't want to think about it in my fucking brain again, bro. I'm out of there. I saw that fucking "you are now entering another state" sign when I was leaving Texas. Or sorry, not Texas, Louisiana. And I was like, fucking A. I will never again go there. Yes, vacations you can write off as a business expense. Well, these wouldn't be very vacation-y because if we got together for a week, we'd want to film enough content to spread out over at least 2 or 3 months. So we might go get to see a couple things or some shit, but we're going to spend most of our fucking time in the recording studio. How was Texas? I liked Texas, dude. Texas did right by me, and I feel like I did right by Texas when I was there. Definitely wasn't what I expected. Felt a lot like where I grew up, honestly. I mean, Texas was very mellow. Overall, like, in comparison to some of the other places I've lived, Texas ranks pretty high. I think I would have liked it better in Austin. But as it was, I lived in San Antonio. Well, not necessarily technically San Antonio, Windcrest technically, but a little attached suburb of San Antonio. And it was beautiful. I was just thinking about how that whole little town is probably lit up like fucking crazy right now because they have like this whole town-wide Christmas decoration event. Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, no, I liked that place, man. One of the things I really liked about Texas was the thunderstorms, man. I'd never had a thunderstorm like that in my life. It didn't come with the constant rain and constant humidity of Louisiana, but you still got these huge, massive thunderstorms that would roll in. Man, I dug those for sure. I never really experienced those where I was growing up. So yeah, dude, I really have found a sense of equilibrium everywhere I've lived except for Louisiana. Louisiana, I felt like a piece of gristle in somebody's mouth that they were looking for a way to politely spit out when I was in Louisiana. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but you know when you like get a steak, you get a piece of gristle. That's what I felt like, bro. The whole time I was there, It's just bad news bears, but hey, whatever, past, behind, and all that. Past, behind, future ahead, and we have many paths to tread. Mist and shadow to the edge of night, making all the darkness light. Oh my god, dude. I'm so glad it's dark because my nose is just dripping. It's cold. Oof. I probably should go get my mask, but I'm too lazy to do it, so I'm not gonna do it. Why Texas and Louisiana so different for you? Totally different climate because I lived inland far enough that it wasn't like ultra humidity 24/7, 365. I mean, it got humid there. No joke. I mean, San Antonio gets humid as fuck, but there's nowhere I've ever lived that compares to the humidity in fucking Louisiana. It's a meme at this point. Everybody says, yeah, the humidity. No, dude, I'm telling you, you don't know until you've lived there for a while. It's oppressive, it's constant. I bet right now it's dank and damp and humid as fuck right now in Louisiana. It might be cold, and I bet it's still like your balls get sweaty just going outside. It's hard to explain. You gotta live there, bro. That on top of being in the cone of hurricanes all the time and the uncertainty that comes with that, it's like, fuck this place, man. That place just... But hey, there are more places ahead. And I gotta tell you, man, watching Dinor run around out here and chase his ball and really blossom as a little country dog has kind of reinvigorated my interest and kind of re-solidified my commitment to finding a little plot of land out in the middle of nowhere that I can fence off and make safe, and buying that motherfucker in a place that's safe and sane, and just settling down and getting a farm animal here and there, and, you know, not big barn animals, but like, you know, chickens and maybe a little pig or something, and some capybaras if we can. Create a little miniature compound for myself on a little piece of land in a beautiful place, and just have all these beautiful things around me. My wife, my little dog, my little kitty, my, you know, whatever we get, capybaras, goats. Chickens, yeah. I like chickens. I didn't know you had a cat. That is excellent. Oh shit, this kid knows Redostas. Well, he might just have heard me talk about it, but yeah, if you've been to Redostas, you know the real deal right there. You need a pit bull to shadow Dinor in case of coyotes for real. Dude, you have to understand something, dude. Dinor doesn't get with like 30 feet of my fucking vision. He's not running around all the time in the dead of night when the coyotes are out hunting, all right? Dinor is inside right now asleep. So you ain't got to worry about Dinor getting snatched by no fucking coyote. That coyote would have to literally kill me. He'd have to come through me to get Dinor. And he ain't gonna want to come through me. I'll fuck a coyote up. Dude, I'll fuck a Godzilla up if it's coming at Dinor. You better believe it, dude. I would throw myself head first at fucking Godzilla and tear him to fucking shreds. If he was coming at Dinor. Paul, why did you move to Louisiana? Because that's where the business moved. Paul, name one cruel thing humanity has not done. Has not done? I don't know. That's too deep a question for me right now, bro. Please insert 25 cents to try again. Yeah, they make anti-coyote vests. If I thought it was a problem, I'd get him one. Like I said, he is never out of my sight here. I got him the flashing vest so that he couldn't go behind the one or two trees that he would like to go behind to pee. If there was a coyote on my property, I'd fucking see it before he would, and it would be scared off before it got to him. It's not that big a problem. There's not like some slavering, giant, roving pack of coyotes around here. If there was, you know, I would take better precautions, but Dinor is fine. He still doesn't wander far from us. He just likes to explore the little, you know, trees out there and shit, and he loves playing fetch out here. He's all about that shit. What caused you to give in to completely to the anarcho-primitivism idea? I haven't given in to it completely. I just it's a side of my philosophy that I hadn't explored in a while, that seemed to be more relevant to me than continuing to talk about the electoral politics angle, as it continues to be more and more dismal, and people continue to pretend that, okay, well, next time we'll fix it. At least we avoided the harm by getting Joe Biden, even though Joe Biden is packing his fucking cabinet with oil lobbyists and fucking energy lobbyists and just ridiculous tobacco lobbyists and just a crazy fucking litany of pond scum from the K Street shithole. You know? It's just like, I could sit here and talk about that all night if you guys want, but that seems like a foregone fucking conclusion to me. What do you guys want me to say? I told you so? Okay, I told you so. There you go. Joe Biden's gonna be a meme. He's gonna be a fucking nightmare of a president. And for the average Joe, he's not gonna be any better than Trump. Whoopsie daisy. Stop paying attention to politics. It's killing me. Well, that's really why I started looking at the ANPRIM thing again and really started embracing, beyond the rhetoric, the message of Derek Jensen and Daniel Quinn and Ishmael. Started dipping my toe back into that line of thought and really finding a lot of fucking comfort in it, honestly, has really been why I've delved back. It's peaceful when you look beyond. Well, that's one of the things that happened to me when I met Amelia. And it didn't happen right away. It took me a while. She's a very calm person and a very quiet person. And that's very unlike most of the people that I surround myself with. And she started just nonchalantly pointing out beautiful things. A cloud that was being hit by the sun in a certain way, a butterfly, a hummingbird, a family of armadillos making their way through our little backyard late at night as we sat on the porch together. The cardinal, the family of cardinals that made a nest very near to our back porch, and all of the other species of birds. And all of a sudden I realized that, well, I realized a couple of things. That I was in love with her. because she had reintroduced me to the beauty of those things, but that I was really, really in love with the planet as well. And I have been since I was a little boy. As hippy dippy as that sounds, and as tree hugger as that may come off, and as trite as it may sound, since I was a little boy, I felt a kinship with this place, this planet, the ocean, the mountains, the grasslands, and the deserts. And that's why it hurts watching it die, and that's why it feels good to argue for its continued existence and to be on its side. It wasn't about her appreciating me. That's the thing. She appreciates me, and she shows that appreciation. It was about her appreciating things that I didn't notice anymore. I had really locked myself inside, not just for quarantine reasons, but just for having given up on Louisiana, on nature. And she, in her very quiet way, pointed at those things to me and said, "Oh, look." And it's such a simple phrase, "Oh, look." But it's so laden with human portent. Look what I'm experiencing. Experience it with me. And they were beautiful. Everything she pointed out was beautiful. And it reminded me of those things. And that beauty existed everywhere. And how lucky I was to live in that. Sounds like psychedelia. Maybe it is a little bit. Maybe my experience with those things put me in a mindset where I was able to receive that message of warmth and acceptance from her. I fought against it for a while, you know. I looked, but I didn't really look. But I didn't fight against her pointing it out to me. And that really was the fundamental thing. If I had to draw that line. You know, she and I bonded over our animals. When we initially started talking, we were just friends. And she had Cricket and I had Dinor, and we would talk incessantly about our animals. And it was really her love of those things and her fascination with just the things that I consider to be mundane right outside my window. The birds and the little animals that lived in our area. What were you doing when you were 21? I was purchasing my first home. About a month after my 21st birthday, I purchased a condo in Fresno, California. I was working at Starbucks at the time, and I had been working on my credit. My credit was good enough for me to get a mortgage. My income was provable enough by that time because I started working at Starbucks when I was 19 in the year 2000. I was hired on January 1st of 2000 when I was 19 years old. And by the time I was 21, I had had a long enough full-time employment history with the company and an upward trajectory of payment that they were willing to give me a mortgage. It was a small mortgage on a small place, but I felt very accomplished at that age. Not a lot of 21-year-olds buy their first home, you know, unless they're rich, and I was definitely not that. Now that was not some kind of standard of, you know, that I expect other people to fucking live up to or whatever the fuck. But it was what I wanted at the time, and it felt good to get it. So that's the answer to your question. When I was 21, I was working at Starbucks. I was living in a condo. I was in a very profoundly sick relationship. I was drinking a lot. I was abusing a lot of opiates. Smoking a lot. But that's been a constant since I was about 13, so you can't judge me for that. But the other ones, those were, you know. But yeah, 21, that's pretty much where I was, right around that age. I drank a lot, partied a lot, was in a bad relationship, had good credit, had a job that while it sucked, it was okay. It paid my fucking bills, you know. Whatever happened to your roommate from Arizona, my piano playing roommate, I don't know. I only remember his first name. I cannot for the life of me remember what his fucking last name was. I know what his first name was. I know he was a pianist, a concert pianist. I know he worked for Starbucks around the same time I did, at the same store I did in Arizona. I know that we co-signed a lease at some point, so that may be my key. Maybe I'll be able to find it on my old credit report or something. But I honestly cannot remember his fucking last name to save my life. So I don't know. I don't know what he's up to. I don't know if that's what he ended up pursuing. I know that's what he wanted to do, but he was a concert pianist that was working at Starbucks. I mean, you know, he played at places and got gigs every once in a while and made supplemental income, but he was, you know, there's a good chance that he never made a name for himself. Or maybe stopped pursuing it at some point. I mean, you never know what happens to a person. I cannot remember his fucking name. It's driving me nuts now. But that's just kind of getting old. There are people that you spent a profound amount of time that just kind of fade into obscurity for you because you know you're probably never going to bump into them again. And coyotes, you guys hear them? I don't know if you guys can hear them. They're very soft for me, so you guys probably can't. What do you think humans will do with all the plastic after the collapse? Probably collect it and probably try and pile it somewhere and bury it and never make any more of it, hopefully. Or if not, repurpose it and never make any more of it. Well, there's a group of dogs on this side, and there's a pack of 2 or 3 coyotes on this side. The coyotes are calling, and then the dogs are answering from the middle distance over here. It's got to be over a mile away, probably a mile and a half away from me. The dogs are sounding off here, and then in about the same distance, a mile and a half that way, there's a small pack of about 2 or 3, from what I can tell, coyotes. Pretty cool. We're talking the animals, not the human traffickers, not coyotes. Got any protection like a bat? No. I have way more to fear from the train that I live near and the road that I live near than any fucking wild animal. The amount of people mauled by coyotes in this country is significantly, statistically, obviously, and provably so fucking low that it's not even worth my worrying about. I should shit my pants every time I get in a car, though, because those kill lots and lots of us every year. It's crazy to think how smart coyotes are. Sometimes they'll pretend to play with dogs and lead them away from their homes. Yeah. No. Dinor, it never goes out of eye shot. He has a fucking giant vest. He never goes out of eye shot. He's not being led away by the Pied Piper coyote, dude. It ain't happening. Coyote got your cat a few years ago, yeah. Should you worry if you have pets? What? Huh? Ooh, what? Just like the Pied Piper led Dinor through the streets, dance like a marionette to the symphony of destruction. That's a pretty dope song. I'll give you that shit. I'll give you that shit. Yeah, it may be the only good Megadeth song. You're right. Dude, you know what band people sleep on in that genre? The Megadeth kind of like glam / hair rock metal kind of genre? Wasp, dude. Wasp, dude. People sleep on Wasp. I love that Blind in Texas song, dude. I'm blind in Texas. The cowboys have taken my eyes. Wasp, dude. Slept on eternally. And then, obviously, their biggest hit was Fuck Like a Beast. Vroom, boom, 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 vroom, 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 vroom. Vroom, 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 vroom. Vroom, 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 vroom. Vroom, 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 vroom. Hello, Mr. Crinkle. How are you today? Oh, yeah, dude. Any advice for assuaging the ever-flowing font of misery and anguish? 420, dude. Blaze it. Do a backflip. Do a barrel roll. Let Slippy die. Play Star Fox 64 and let Slippy die over and over again in every mission. Even though you get negative points at the end of the mission for letting him die, let him die anyway. It'll make you feel better. Paul, I was all nervous to ask if you liked Primus. Why would you be nervous? Of course I like Primus. Jerry was a race car driver, and I don't know. It's too fast for me, dude. It's been a while since I listened to Primus. I gotta listen to some fucking Primus, dude. What does the title of the stream mean to you as a person? What's the title of the stream? I don't know. You tell me what the title of the I can't remember what I named the stream. Drip? Oh. Dude, okay. So I've been so fucking busy getting my shit set up here and settling into my new place and streaming a lot and filming a fuck ton that my Beauregard side project had kind of sat for a while, and I hadn't given anything new to Marshall, and I had this burst of creativity tonight. And busted out a whole verse completing another song, I think, because I think between Marshall's verse on it and then the one that I wrote tonight and then parts of the singing verse that I sent him way earlier, like about a month ago, I think that's another complete Beauregard X Marshall Manson song, probably, once he gets through it. And then Marshall sent me this beat, dude. Oh my God, bro. It's like a punk song. Right? It's like this punk song, but done like kind of, it's hard to explain. I don't want to talk too much about it. But he sent me this beat, and I immediately thought, like, I can't rap to this. And I was sitting there tonight after I had that burst of creativity and wrote this whole verse for this song and recorded it and did a cappella and over the beat for Marshall so he could hear how I heard it. I got all that done, and then I started listening to that beat that he sent me. And I was like, why am I thinking about rapping to this? I should treat this like a punk song, but use trap lyrics. And so that thought hung in my mind for like 3 weeks. And then tonight, I was like, fuck. And I wrote this song called Drip. That's like a punk song. I'd see that. Here's the thing, dude. I don't know if I can pull it off. I wanted to try and record it tonight, but number one, my voice is in shit shape. Number two, Amelia was already asleep. And I didn't want to fucking wake her up screaming down the hall and around the corner. And so, like, but I wanted to fucking, like, I think tomorrow I'm going to try and record this. I could give you guys a sneak peek, but I'm not gonna right now. But yeah, dude, I think that if I can pull this off, this song might actually be fucking dope. But I just don't know if my voice is gonna be able to do it, because it needs one kind of verse sung not super high for me, but pretty high in my register, and then one verse screamed, dude. Not like metal screamed, but like punk screamed. Oh my God, dude. So it needs one verse done, very kind of bubblegum punk. Not really bubblegum, but just like on the edge of bubblegum punk, like 90s kind of punk. And then one verse that just fucking screams, dude. And I need to fucking just unleash it. And if I can get a good recording of it, dude, I think it's gonna be dope. Dope. I don't know. Have you heard of the Tom Cruise freak out? No, I haven't. Rise against type screaming? No, not necessarily. Like, I'm thinking more like fucking, I don't even know, like Ramones type screaming. Or Billy Idol type screaming. Or yeah, Danzig type screaming. Maybe even slightly like Slipknot-esque. But it's got to just be full fucking... Whew. Whew. I don't know, dude. I'm hot to trot for that shit, though. Definitely looking forward to trying to lay that down tomorrow at some point after I talk to Amelia and tell her that I'm not going out of my mind in the recording studio, that I'm just going to be screaming a lot. I'm going to try and lay that down. You should watch Danzig's horrible movie he directed called Veronica. It's almost Tommy Wiseau levels of bad. I'm busy making food, but wanted to say I put a video of Zeno on Twitter. Cool. I'll check it out. Check his furry little ass out. See how he's enjoying his hamster utopia. I'm fat, Paul. How do you do it? You eat a lot, bro. I don't know what to tell you. And with that, I think I gotta go, guys. It's fucking cold. It's late, and I gotta go. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace.